How are people with learning disabilities treated by the public?
We're quite lucky here now because we've introduced different things to help with you all coming from Kent Mencap and other people coming in. I understand how people ignore you sometimes, look over you.
Exactly right. Yeah.
They don't think you're there.
But we are.
Oh, I agree you are.
We are.
And this is the thing that we've got to try and get across to people more.
Yeah. But they don't, sometimes they don't understand, do they?
Oh, they don't understand at all.
And they could be quite nasty towards us.
Oh yeah, I've seen them be nasty towards you, and it's unfortunate. It's like with myself, if I'm out with Jane, they'll talk to Jane and ignore me, because once you're seen to be disabled or whatever, they completely ignore you.
Yeah.
I'm an angel.
Yeah, you're an angel.
Sadly, I think a lot of people with learning difficulties they're treated in most cases politely, but quite often ignored by the general public. I think a lot of it stems from a lack of knowledge and a lack of information. They don't understand the issues, and so they ignore people, so they don't have to get involved.
I find a lot of the public treat people with learning disabilities with pity or sympathy, or feel sorry for them, so they'll assume they can't do things without actually asking whether they can do it or not. It depends on the level of learning disability and whether it's visible. For somebody who has a visible learning disability, maybe somebody that's got Down syndrome, where you can see there's an issue, I think they get treated very differently to people that have got a mild learning disability, where you can't see it.
Yes, we live next door to, there's a bungalow next door to us that houses 3 very, very physically and mentally disabled people. They have a huge caring staff. Yeah, they're no trouble at all. They're nice. We know them. We go to their barbecues and try and talk to them. They really aren't very communicative with us. But obviously the caring staff understand their needs more than we do. We do a charity garden party every year for different charities, and they usually come to that. I've always been a little bit worried about them, to be honest, because I'm not really good on people who are unpredictable. They're not unpredictable, they're quite predictable because but some of the guests they have at their barbecue are a little bit worrying, a little bit scary.
I think you either get people that are very understanding or people that just don't want to know.
Yeah, I think a lot of people understand that people have got a right to live where they want. There are, of course, some people in society that don't get that, but they're like that with a lot of other people, aren't they? So people that are intolerant for no reason at all.
There's always going to be the odd person out there, the ordinary person who will take the mickey, if that's the right term.
Yeah. Because people have always seen people with learning disabilities out and about in Thanet. It's more visible than other areas, so therefore maybe there are a bit more services. Somebody who's got a learning disability who lives on their own, who shops on their own, does all their own bills and house stuff, when they go to a hospital appointment, to not be spoken to must be really degrading and really infuriating, I would imagine.
Here's the unknown.
I think just people don't understand.
True.
And they might be a bit frightened.
Absolutely.
It makes people a little bit unwilling. When people are frightened, they feel threatened, so they can be a bit nasty.
Absolutely.
People who don't accept other people, they just ignorant, and maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's a lack of education and lack of knowledge, and if they have this problem, that is their problem. But in general, I think it's not that bad, especially in this country, in England.
We are just members about learning disability people coming for it.
Why do you think that people with learning disabilities are treated unfairly in their own community?
Again, I think it goes back down to people being afraid of somebody different, not being sure, and not having the information.
What I'm thinking is probably just like a lot of parents, they don't take us to respect their elders and then disability people who is our side. And I mean, I think it's the family's fault. They need to teach them a little bit more.
Some people don't care. Some people are selfish.
Rude.
Yeah, but there's only a few people like that. Yeah, but you get that people are rude to everybody, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just a small group of people that can be difficult, but also a lack of understanding. Absolutely. And then people don't try to understand.
I think a lot of it is ignorance. People don't know how to treat them. You might see, I don't know, somebody with a learning disability getting on your bus regularly every morning, but you actually never spoken to them. And if something happens where you have to, you get a bit scared because you don't know how they're going to respond, or can they respond.
There are people, as you say, you don't know who will have a learning disability. But again, you can soon find out, you know, by interacting with those people who you might meet. You accept that, and I think you start coming around to the sort of the way that that person is talking to you, and you adjust.
Some other establishments seem to think that somebody with a learning disability should have a carer with them all times, or they get panicky that they're there on their own. Sometimes the general public have this misperception that people with a learning disability should be accompanied all the time.
The people learning disability, they will become after the community, they will be left out, and basically they will lose everything. Yeah. And the community will go to two ways.